Yeah, it was important, but it was important like every game's important. I mean, I know that we do, as a football community, like to build up pressure on sides that haven't won many, and you know, there's certain expectations that go into games. But you know, I'm speaking absolutely honestly here, where we didn't approach this game any differently to the way we approached any other. So while the win-loss, you know, we needed it from that perspective, but you know, we've been about trying to improve as a side, and we've still got a long way to go in that area, because the start was terrible. You know, we let ourselves down there, and even throughout the game there were still a lot of things that are letting us down, and we've got to improve on. But you know, I thought it showed really good character to get off to a start like that. You know, a group of lesser competitors would have capitulated, and they didn't. We got our composure back, and we got on top. So you know, that part of it was really pleasing.
How did you get on top? They seem to have you there with your third man up in the ruck, and that seemed to be a bit of a problem. Was there anything specific that you did to address it?
Yeah, we went back to the plans that we set pre-game, because with their ruck situation, we knew they were going to try something different. So, you know, once we steadied the ship there, I thought we got some composure back. I mean, our ball use hurt us as much as anything. You know, our mistakes with the ball. You know, a silly 50-metre penalty. You know, a silly free kick. We gave them goals. I mean, I think their first 8 goals were 6 of them were we had a direct hand in our mistakes, giving them a goal. So once we arrested that issue, then we started to get on top offensively.
7 days ago, you described Daniel Wells as potentially the best player we've ever seen. Was that comment self-fulfilling, or are you just a good judge?
Well, I've got to correct you on that. I said that if he lived up to people's expectations every single week, he'd be the best player we've ever seen. So, but look, he's been fantastic for us this year, and it was really pleasing. You quite often don't hear crowd noise in the box, but you know, at the end of the game there, when he won the ball a couple of times, and you know, the North supporters really got behind him, and I thought that was really good, because you know, they've got to support him, because he's a terrific player. He has been for a long time. I've often said that he can't live up to people's expectations because they're unachievable. You know, he's just got to keep doing what we're asking him to do. And he's, you know, last week under fire against Geelong, he played terrific footy, and he backed that up again this week, which was really good.
What about your expectations, though? Is he sort of responding to them, do you feel?
Oh yeah, I think he's getting to where we both know he can. You know, he sets very high expectations for himself, and you know, I think he can be a genuinely elite player, and he's starting to show that now. And he's got some real belief, and you know, he's got some real belief in his body, I think, which is most important. You know, a lot of people don't realise when they watch players play that they're playing with a little bit of injury. He's fully fit. He's had a great pre-season, great preparation, and now he's playing as we'd expect him to.
Aaron Edwards in and out, and the side kicked 10 goals in the VFL last week, and must be pretty pleased with his 6 goals today.
More pleased with his 5 tackles. You know, that was an area that you know, he's traditionally been pretty good in anyway. You know, certainly since I've been at the club. He was unlucky to lose his spot. He lost his spot due to team structure, and we had to change the way our forward line was functioning. But he went back, and his attitude was first class. He got the result on the scoreboard last week in the VFL with 10 goals. But I mean, 5 tackles today was just, you know, outstanding. And his work defensively is very good, and you know, we know what he can do offensively.
But the way he got them, I guess, and when he got them was important too. There seemed to be some contested marks, some lead-up work, some snaps, just a bit of everything today. Yeah,
and that's something that we've really, or he's really worked on. I mean, Brett Allison should take a lot of credit, because he's worked with him on making him a multi-dimensional player. Traditionally, he was a goal-squared lead mark forward, and you know, there's very few of those left in the game now, so he had to add other strings to his bow, and he's gone away and worked really hard on those things. And you know, I was pleased for his reward for effort today.
Jack Zeeble has been subbed off in the last 2 games. Is there any sort of, is it just trying to coax him back into more match fitness or something like that?
Well, he just cramped pretty heavily. I mean, we had the intention of playing him through the game today, but he got a knock, and then he started cramping pretty badly. So we had Ben Spate there, so we wanted to hold that sub up our sleeve for as long as we could in case we had an injury. So, you know, Jack was the one who was cramping, so we took him off. It wasn't a pre-planned thing.
Well, as a non-league player, is he improving a lot?
Oh yeah, he's going to be a terrific player. He had a really important role on Maloney today, who was absolutely outstanding last week against Adelaide with 19 clearances, and he kept Maloney quiet and got a fair bit of the footy himself, and looked like showed glimpses of the player he's going to be. He's a really powerful 20-year-old, and he's going to be a real player of the future for us. And we're just going to ask him to keep improving, keep working on his fitness, and we've got a long-term program in place for that. And he's certainly doing what we're asking him to at the moment.
Any injuries?
No, nothing. Nothing really. The only thing in game were a few little knocks and cramps and things like that. So, we've been fortunate. We really need to turn around this the pre-season form with injuries. We had a lot in the pre-season, but we're slowly starting to get our full complement of players back. Levi Greenwood should play some footy next week, whether it's at VFL or AFL level, we're not sure yet. But we're starting to get players back, and we really have felt that throughout the year we've missed some crucial players with McIntosh and Greenwood, Bastanak, Matty Campbell, Ed Lower. There's a pretty long list of them, but we're starting to get them back. So I know Melbourne were without a few key players today, but we've been really without a few key players all year. So it's pleasing to start getting them back.
And Ben Cunnington's just sick. Is that...
Yeah. Well, Ben turned up to the game and started vomiting and diarrhoea. So at the ground, which is unusual. It's usually the night before, but that was a legitimate last-minute withdrawal. And Cruz Garlick came in and performed well.